Hi, my name's Mike Barley. I'm the Territory Manager for Aeroflex's GPS Simulator product lines. Thank you for taking a few minutes today to become familiar with our newest GPS Simulator product, the GPSG-1000. I hope that you will find this video to be a valuable first step in understanding the utility of the GPSG for the integration, validation, and test of GNSS receivers for a variety of applications. The GPSG-1000 from Aeroflex Test Solutions is a portable and ruggedized single-carrier multi-channel simulator for testing GPS and GALILEO GNSS receivers. The GPSG-1000 can simulate a single 3D point in time or simulate 3D dynamic motion by utilizing the available 6 or 12 channel configurations. At its very affordable price point, this simulator fills the market gap between low-end single or twin channel simulators and top-end developmental simulators. The following video is an illustrative introduction into the GPSG-1000's functions and capabilities. We will demonstrate the performance of actual static and dynamic simulations in subsequent videos to follow. The protective cover for the GPSG's touchscreen can be lifted and rotated to the back of the unit, thus functioning as a stand so that the test set can be stabilized upright on a flat surface. Pressing the button with the green power logo, located on the lower left edge of the front panel, will begin the power on boot sequence of the GPSG-1000. Pressing and holding the power button again from this point will trigger the test set's power off process. Once the power on booting process is complete, an operator would most commonly utilize the gray launch bar to access the various functions of the test set. A common first function to select would be the setup function from the launch bar menu. Touching the gray launch bar will cause the menu of functions to expand onto the touchscreen. Touching the gray launch bar again will cause this menu to contract into the left margin of the touchscreen. Let's access the GPSG-1000 setup page by touching the gray launch bar again. Pressing the setup selection on the launch bar menu takes the operator to all of the setup options for the GPSG-1000. Once in the setup function, note the title of the user interface page on the bottom left-hand side. For every page in the test set's user interface, the title of that page will be displayed in the lower left-hand side of the screen. In the simulation setup page, and throughout the rest of the user interface for that matter, there are basically two types of data entry that can be utilized. One is fixed menu selections, the other is numerical data entry. For example, on the simulation setup page, if we touch the GNSS field on the screen, a menu of options will appear, which are the only choices for that setup field: GPS, GALILEO, or GPS and GALILEO. Touching any one of these three menu options will constitute the selection for that field. On this same setup page, if we then touch the simulation field, we will see that our choices here are for static or dynamic simulation. A static simulation will be a single 3D point in space, latitude, longitude, and elevation. A dynamic simulation will be a series of preset or user-defined latitudes, longitudes, and elevations, which equates to simulated motion of an object through a variety of waypoints. The RF level field in the simulation setup page gives us another data entry type method which can be used throughout the GPSG's user interface: numerical data entry. Touching the RF level field on the simulation setup page will prompt the numeric keypad to launch nearby. We can change numeric values for RF level by clearing the data from the keypad and by re-entering a value by touching the appropriate numbers. Note, we have now changed the RF level signal strength out of the test set through the antenna coupler to -95 dBm. If we touch the gray launch bar and touch simulation function on the menu, we are taken to the page from which our static or dynamic motion simulations are run. Note that the fields in this page outlined in blue are predefined in the setup process and thus cannot be changed. Depending on the type of simulation selected during the setup process, we simply touch the Run field in the lower right-hand side of the touchscreen to initiate the chosen type of simulation. If we touch the gray launch bar again and select the SVPRN function, we are taken to a page where we can selectively manage or manipulate the signal coming from various satellites used in a given simulation. For example, if we touch anywhere along an individual line for an SV, we are taken to a page where we can turn on or turn off that satellite signal, change the health status, manipulate Doppler error for that satellite, and so forth. The route function on the gray launch bar allows us to load and manage waypoints, or routes for a dynamic motion simulation. When a route is selected and loaded, the test set will validate that route automatically, telling the operator that a physically valid set of points have been selected. The waypoint function on the gray launch bar is used to configure the waypoints that comprise a 3D navigation simulation. The GPSG-1000's canned list of waypoints consist of cities and corresponding ICAO airport codes and their coordinates. However, other user-defined waypoints can be created and saved to this library of coordinates. Note that the list of waypoints can be scrolled using the indicators on the right and bottom edges of the screen. Thank you for taking a few moments to learn about the GPSG-1000. I hope you found this introductory video to be useful. If you have any additional questions or should you require any additional information about the GPSG-1000, feel free to contact us via the internet at our website at www.aeroflex.com.